If you are over 70 and you have started walking more slowly because you think it makes you safer, I want you to listen closely. Because slower walking is not always safer walking. In fact, for many adults after 70, the walk that feels careful can quietly become the walk that creates danger. You start taking shorter steps. Your feet stay closer to the floor. Your eyes begin looking down more than forward. Your arms stop swinging naturally. And without realizing it, your body begins to move in a guarded, shuffling pattern. At first, it feels responsible. It feels cautious. It feels like you are protecting yourself. But here is the problem. When the foot barely leaves the floor, even a small rug edge, a doorway threshold, a loose cord, a crack in the sidewalk, or the corner of a mat can become enough to catch your toe. And when that toe catches, the body often does not have enough time to recover. That is why today, here on Gold After 50, we are going to talk about one simple walking change that may help you move with more confidence, more control, and more safety. No expensive balance gadget, no complicated workout, no miracle claim, just one small change in the way you lift, land, and roll through each step. And once you understand it, you may never look at your daily walk the same way again. Because the goal is not just to walk slower. The goal is to walk clearer. Every step should send your brain a message. I know where my foot is. I know where the ground is. I know how to move forward with control. That is the difference between cautious walking and protected walking. And stay with me, because later in this video, I will show you a simple hallway check you can do safely at home to notice whether you may be shuffling without realizing it. Most people miss this because they are focused on balance only. But balance is not just about standing still. Balance is also about how your foot meets the ground while you move. Think of your walk like a safety system. Every step has 3 parts. First, the foot has to lift. Second, the heel needs to meet the ground gently and clearly. Third, the foot should roll forward so the toes can help push you into the next step. Lift, land, roll. That is the simple pattern. But after 70, several things can interrupt it. Leg muscles may not fire as quickly as they used to. The hips may feel tighter. The ankles may become less flexible. Vision may change. Nerve signals from the feet may feel less sharp. And sometimes after one scary trip or one fall, the brain becomes afraid, so it starts protecting you in the only way it knows. It makes you smaller, shorter steps, lower feet, less arm swing, less confidence. And that is where many seniors get trapped, because the body thinks it is reducing danger, but it may actually be reducing the space your foot needs to clear the floor. Let me say that again. If your foot does not lift enough, the floor becomes more dangerous. This is why the walking change we are focusing on today is not about walking fast. It is not about taking huge steps. And it is not about forcing your body into a perfect athletic stride. It is about restoring a safer walking rhythm. Lift the foot, land gently with the heel, roll through the foot, push off with the toes, and keep your eyes looking ahead, not locked down at the floor. Now, I want to be very clear. If you use a cane, walker, or another support device, this does not mean you should stop using it. If your doctor or physical therapist has given you specific walking instructions, follow their guidance. And if you have foot pain, severe balance problems, dizziness, neuropathy, Parkinson's disease, recent surgery, or a history of falls, talk to a qualified health professional before changing how you walk or doing new exercises. Safety comes first. But for many adults over 70 who have slowly fallen into a shuffling pattern, this one idea can be powerful. Do not slide the foot. Lift it. Do not slap the whole foot down flat. Land with awareness. Do not stop the step halfway. Roll through and let the toes help you move forward. That is the foundation. Now let's make this practical. Imagine you are walking from your bedroom to the kitchen in the morning. This is when many people are not fully alert yet. The lighting may be dim, the body may feel stiff, the floor may feel colder under the feet. Maybe there is a rug near the bed, slippers near the doorway, or a small step into the hallway. This is exactly the kind of everyday moment where falls happen. Not during something dramatic, not while doing something risky, but during a normal walk across a normal room on a normal morning. So instead of rushing and instead of shuffling, you pause for half a second. You stand tall. You let your shoulders relax. You look forward, not straight down. Then you take your first step with this quiet cue in your mind. Lift, land, roll. Lift the foot enough so it clears the floor. Land gently with the heel first, not with the toe dragging forward. Then roll through the foot and let the toes help you move into the next step. That is one step. Then you repeat it. Lift, land, roll. This does not have to look dramatic. In fact, it should look natural. The goal is not to march like a soldier. The goal is not to stomp your heel. The goal is not to exaggerate your stride so much that you lose balance. The goal is smooth, steady, and intentional. Because after 70, intentional walking can be safer than automatic walking. Automatic walking is what you do when your body is tired, distracted, or afraid. Intentional walking is when you gently remind the brain and legs to work together again. And that reminder matters. Your brain and your legs are always communicating. Every step sends information upward from the feet and ankles, and every correction from your brain sends instructions back down. When you shuffle for months or years, that communication can become quieter. But when you practice lifting the foot, placing it clearly, and rolling through the step, you are not only moving the leg, you are training the signal. That is why small daily practice can matter more than a big workout once in a while. A few careful steps done correctly every day can help rebuild the walking pattern your body may have slowly forgotten. Before we go further, do me a small favor. If this is already making sense, tap the like button so this video can reach more adults over 50 who may be walking in a risky way without realizing it. And leave a comment with your age and where you are watching from. We have viewers in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, and it helps everyone feel less alone when they see others taking their health seriously too. Now, let's talk about the first part of this walking change because it is the one most people miss. Foot clearance. That means how much space your foot has between the bottom of your shoe and the floor when you take a step. When you were younger, you probably never thought about foot clearance. Your foot lifted automatically. Your hip helped raise the leg. Your ankle pulled the toes up. Your body knew exactly how much height it needed. But with age, inactivity, stiffness, or fear of falling, that lift can shrink. The step becomes lower and lower. And eventually, instead of stepping over the floor, the foot starts sliding across it. That is the beginning of the shuffle. And the shuffle is dangerous because it leaves no margin for error. A safe step needs a little space, not a giant step, not a high step. Just enough clearance so your toe does not skim every surface in front of you. So here is the first simple practice. Find a safe hallway, kitchen counter, or wall where you can place one hand nearby for support. Stand tall. Take one slow step forward. As you step, think only about picking the foot up instead of sliding it. Do not rush. Lift the foot. Place the heel down gently. Roll through the foot. Then repeat with the other foot. Try 10 slow steps like this, then stop, turn carefully, and walk back the same way. That is enough for the first practice. You are not trying to get tired. You are trying to teach the body. And here is where most people get this wrong. They think practice has to feel hard to work. But walking safety is not always built through intensity. Sometimes it is built through precision. A careful step teaches the nervous system more than a rushed step. So when you practice, slow down enough that you can feel the movement, feel the foot lift, feel the heel touch, feel the weight roll forward, feel the toes finish the step. That feeling is your feedback. That is your body learning again. Now, the second part of this walking change is the heel landing. I am not saying you should slam your heel into the floor. That would be wrong. This is gentle. When your heel meets the ground first, it gives your body a clear starting point for the step. It allows the foot to roll forward naturally instead of landing flat and stiff. A flat-footed step can make walking feel heavy. A toe-first step can increase the chance of catching the floor. But a gentle heel-first landing can help restore the natural rolling motion of the foot. Think of it like a rocking chair. A rocking chair does not drop straight down. It rolls smoothly from back to front. Your foot is similar. Heel, arch, ball of the foot, toes. That rolling motion is what helps move you forward with less effort and more control. And after 70, control is everything. But control does not mean stiffness. This is where many people make the mistake. They hear, walk carefully, and their whole body tightens. The shoulders rise, the arms freeze, the eyes lock on the floor, the steps become tiny, the breathing gets shallow, and suddenly, the body is no longer walking as one smooth system. It is moving like every part is afraid of the next part. That fear is understandable, especially if you have already had a fall or even a close call. One moment like that can change the way you move for months. You may not even notice it happening. Your brain simply says, let's make everything smaller so we do not fall again. But smaller is not always safer. A very short step gives you less time to react. A dragging foot gives you less room to clear obstacles. A forward-leaning posture can pull your weight ahead of your feet, and when your arms stop swinging, your body loses one of its natural balance tools. So the real goal is not to become stiff and careful. The real goal is to become steady and aware. There is a difference. Steady walking still has movement. The arms move gently, the feet lift clearly, the body stays tall, the eyes scan ahead. The step has rhythm. Fearful walking loses rhythm. And rhythm matters because walking is not just one foot in front of the other. Walking is a coordinated pattern between your feet, ankles, knees, hips, core, arms, eyes, and brain. When one part changes, everything else adjusts. That is why the simple cue, lift, land, roll, works so well as a starting point. It gives the whole body a clear job. Lift the foot so it clears the floor. Land with the heel gently so the step begins clearly. Roll through the foot so the body keeps moving forward. Now let's add the third part, the toe push-off. This is the part most adults over 70 never think about. When you take a good step, your toes are not just along for the ride. They help finish the step. They help push the body forward. They help create rhythm. But when people begin shuffling, that toe push-off often disappears. The foot lands flat. The step stops early. The back foot does not push. The body has to work harder to move forward. So the stride becomes even shorter. Then the legs feel heavier. Then walking feels less confident. It becomes a loop. Short steps create weaker push-off. Weaker push-off creates shorter steps. And over time, the body begins to accept that limited movement as normal. But it does not have to stay that way. Here is a simple way to feel the toe push-off safely. Stand near a kitchen counter or sturdy chair. Place your hand lightly on it for support. Take one small step forward with your right foot. As your weight moves onto that foot, notice what your left foot does behind you. Instead of letting the left foot drag forward, gently press through the toes of the left foot and let that pressure help bring the leg forward. Then switch. Step with the left foot. Gently press through the toes of the right foot. Do this slowly. You are not trying to push hard. You are not trying to bounce. You are simply waking up the ending of the step. The ending matters. A step that does not finish properly often makes the next step weaker. But a step that finishes with a gentle toe push-off can help the next foot lift more naturally. This is why walking is like a chain. Each link affects the next one. If the heel landing is the beginning of the step, the toe push-off is the handoff. It says to the next leg, your turn. That handoff is part of what makes walking feel smooth instead of choppy. Now stay with me because the next part may surprise you. Your feet are important, but they are not working alone. If your eyes and posture are wrong, even a good step can become less safe. Many seniors look straight down while walking because they want to see the floor. Again, this makes sense. You want to avoid rugs, cords, cracks, steps, and uneven surfaces. But when your eyes stay locked down, your head drops. When your head drops, your upper back rounds. When your upper back rounds, your weight shifts forward. And when your weight shifts forward, your feet have to rush to catch up. That forward lean is one reason a small toe catch can turn into a fall so quickly. The body is already moving ahead of its base. So here is the safer idea. Do not stare at your feet. Scan the path ahead. Look a few steps in front of you, not straight down at your toes. Let your eyes check the floor ahead of time, then let your body walk into that space. This gives your brain more time to plan. Think of it like driving a car. A safe driver does not stare at the hood of the car. A safe driver looks down the road. They still notice what is nearby, but their eyes are planning ahead. Walking works the same way. If you only look at your feet, you react late. If you look a few steps ahead, you prepare early. So when you walk through your home, practice this simple IQ. Look ahead, then step. Look ahead, then step. Not down, panic, shuffle. Ahead, plan, step. That little change can make your walking feel calmer. Now, let's talk about the arms. If you watch a confident walker, you will notice something very simple. Their arms swing naturally, not wildly, not forcefully, just a gentle opposite rhythm. Right leg forward, left arm forward, left leg forward, right arm forward. This arm swing helps balance the rotation of the body. It keeps walking smooth. It helps the trunk stay upright. But when someone becomes afraid of falling, the arms often freeze. They may hold them close to the body. They may keep them stiff. They may grab furniture while walking through the house, even when they do not truly need to. And while support is important when needed, constantly freezing the arms can make the body less natural. So as you practice lift, land, roll, let your arms move gently too. You do not need to exaggerate. Just let them swing a little. Soft hands, relaxed shoulders, tall chest, eyes forward. This gives the body a message. We are walking, not bracing for impact. That message matters. Because confidence is not only mental, confidence is physical. Your body can learn it through repetition. Now here is a simple practice you can use. Choose a safe hallway with no clutter. Stand tall at one end. Keep one hand near the wall if needed, but do not lean heavily unless you must for safety. Take 10 slow steps. With each step, think, lift, land, roll, then add, look ahead, let the arms move. When you reach the end, stop fully. Do not spin quickly, turn using small steps, then walk back the same way. Do this 2 or 3 times. That is it. This is not meant to exhaust you. It is meant to sharpen your walking pattern. And the best time to practice is not when you are tired, rushed, or distracted. Practice when you feel steady, maybe after breakfast, maybe mid-morning, maybe in the afternoon when the house is quiet. Just a few minutes. Consistency matters more than intensity. One of the biggest mistakes older adults make with movement is waiting until they feel weak before they practice. But the body responds best to gentle reminders before there is a crisis. You brush your teeth daily because you want to protect them. Walking deserves that same daily respect. Because walking is not just exercise. Walking is independence. It is getting to the bathroom safely at night. It is walking to the mailbox. It is going into the grocery store without fear. It is visiting family. It is crossing a parking lot. It is standing up from a chair and trusting that your legs know what to do next. That is not a small thing. That is freedom. And protecting that freedom after 70 starts with the steps you take every day. Now let's talk about one of the most dangerous places for shuffling, inside the home. Many people think falls mostly happen outside, on sidewalks or stairs. But a lot of falls happen at home, in familiar rooms, during ordinary moments. Why? Because familiar spaces make us less alert. You know your hallway, you know your kitchen, you know your bedroom, so your brain goes on autopilot. But autopilot walking is where shuffling hides. You might be carrying laundry, you might be holding a cup of tea, you might be turning quickly because the phone rang. You might be walking in socks on a smooth floor. You might be half awake at night. These are the real-life moments that matter. So the next part of your walking change is obstacle awareness. This does not mean being afraid of every object on the floor. It means training your brain to notice obstacles early and step with intention. A rug edge, a pet toy, a shoe, a low step, a cord, a doorway threshold. These things are not dangerous because they are large. They are dangerous because they are easy to underestimate. If your foot lifts clearly, you have a better chance of clearing them. If your foot slides, they become traps. So here is a safe practice. Place a soft towel on the floor in a clear area. Not a high object, not anything hard. Just a small towel that creates a visible line. Stand a few steps away, near a wall or counter. Walk slowly toward the towel. Before you reach it, look at it. Plan the step. Lift your foot slightly higher than usual. Step over the towel. Land with the heel. Roll through the foot. Then bring the other foot over. Do not rush. The goal is not speed. The goal is early response. You want your brain to say, I see the obstacle. I have time. I can lift. I can step. I can continue. That is very different from noticing something at the last second and panicking. Practice this only if you feel safe and steady, and always use support nearby. If stepping over even a small towel feels unsafe, do not force it. That is useful information. It may mean you should speak with a physical therapist or healthcare professional about your balance and walking. There is no shame in that. Getting help early is not weakness. It is wisdom. Now, the next thing I want you to understand is that safer walking is not only about the legs, it is also about attention. Many falls happen when the body is walking, but the mind is somewhere else. You are thinking about the phone, the doorbell, the food on the stove, the thing you forgot in the other room, the conversation you just had, and the feet go back to old habits. This is why the cue must be simple: lift, land, roll. You can remember that. You can use it while walking across the room. You can use it when stepping off a curb. You can use it when walking into a store. You can use it when you first get out of bed. Simple cues work because they do not overload the brain. The more complicated a movement instruction is, the less likely you are to remember it when life is happening. So do not try to think about 10 things at once. Start with 3. Lift, land, roll. Then, when that feels natural, add posture. Eyes ahead, arms relaxed, shoulders soft. Now your walking pattern begins to change. Not through force, through awareness. And this is where many people over 70 leave real results on the table. They wait for a fall before they take walking seriously. But walking changes usually begin long before a fall happens. The signs are often small. You notice your slippers scuffing the floor more than they used to. You hear your shoes dragging slightly. You avoid uneven sidewalks. You hold furniture more often. You feel nervous turning around. You take tiny steps in the bathroom. You look down constantly. You feel like your feet do not lift unless you think about them. These are not things to ignore. They are messages. Your body is telling you that the walking safety system needs attention. And attention now may help protect your independence later. That is why I want you to think of this not as an exercise routine, but as a walking reset. A reset you can practice in small moments every day. When you walk to the kitchen, reset. When you walk down the hallway, reset. When you leave the house, reset. When you step onto a sidewalk, reset. Lift, land, roll. That simple pattern may become one of the most useful health habits you build after 70. Now, before we go into the simple hallway check, there is something very important I want you to remember. Not every walking change is caused by normal aging. Sometimes shuffling, dragging the feet, sudden weakness, dizziness, numbness, poor coordination, or a new change in walking can be connected to something medical that needs attention. So if your walking pattern has changed suddenly, if one leg feels weaker than the other, if you have new numbness, if you feel dizzy, if you are falling often, or if your family has noticed a major change in how you move, please do not ignore it. Talk to your doctor or a qualified health professional. This video is here to educate and help you notice patterns, not to diagnose you. That matters because the safest approach is always the one that fits your body, your history, and your real situation. But if your main issue is that your daily walking has slowly become shorter, lower, and more hesitant over time, then this simple walking reset may be a helpful place to begin. Lift, land, roll. Now let's do the simple hallway check I promised earlier. You can do this only if you feel safe, steady, and comfortable. Choose a clear hallway or open space. Make sure there are no rugs, cords, shoes, pets, or objects in the way. Have a wall, counter, or sturdy chair nearby for support. Do not do this test when you are tired, dizzy, rushed, or alone if you are at high risk of falling. Start by walking naturally for about 10 steps. Do not try to correct anything yet. Just notice. Listen to your feet. Do you hear scuffing? Do your slippers or shoes drag across the floor? Do your steps feel very short? Are your toes barely clearing the ground? Are you looking straight down the whole time? Are your arms frozen at your sides? Do you feel like your upper body is leaning forward faster than your feet can follow? If you notice 2 or 3 of these signs, you may be slipping into a shuffling pattern. Again, this does not mean panic. It means pay attention. Now walk the same 10 steps again, but this time use the cue. Lift, land, roll. Lift the foot just enough to clear the floor. Land gently with the heel. Roll through the foot. Let the toes finish the step. Look a few steps ahead. Let your arms swing naturally. Now compare how it feels. Does the step feel clearer? Do you hear less dragging? Does your body feel a little taller? Do you feel more aware of where your feet are? That awareness is the first win. You do not have to perfect it today. You do not have to turn your walk into something dramatic. You simply want to begin noticing the difference between a step that slides and a step that clears. Because once you can feel the difference, you can begin practicing the safer pattern. Here is a simple daily routine you can remember. Once a day, choose a safe space. Walk 10 steps forward using lift, land, roll. Pause. Turn slowly using small steps. Walk 10 steps back. Rest. Repeat that 2 more times if you feel steady. That is it. 3 short rounds. Less than 5 minutes for most people. And the purpose is not to sweat. The purpose is to remind your body how a clearer step feels. Over time, you may begin to notice this cue showing up in real life. When you walk to the bathroom at night, you may remember lift, land, roll. When you step over a doorway threshold, you may remember lift first. When you walk outside, you may scan ahead instead of staring at your feet. When you get out of a chair, you may take a moment to stand tall before rushing into the first step. These small moments are where independence is protected. Not through one perfect workout. Not through fear. Not through waiting until something goes wrong. But through daily awareness. And if there is one thing I want you to take from this video, it is this. Slow walking is not always safe walking. Safe walking is clear walking. A clear step lifts enough to avoid dragging. A clear step lands with awareness. A clear step rolls through the foot. A clear step lets the eyes plan ahead. A clear step keeps the body tall instead of folded forward. A clear step gives your brain and legs time to work together. That is what we are trying to build. And please remember, walking is not just movement. Walking is a form of confidence. When walking feels unsafe, your world can quietly shrink. You stop going out as often. You avoid stores with big parking lots. You hesitate before visiting family. You feel nervous on sidewalks. You hold furniture in your own home. You begin planning your day around what your legs might not be able to do. That can feel discouraging. But the good news is that small improvements in walking awareness can make daily movement feel more controlled again. Not overnight, not magically, but gradually, step by step. And that is what Gold After 50 is about. We are not here to make aging sound scary. We are here to help you understand what is changing, what you can do about it, and how to protect your independence with practical, research-based habits. So today, your action step is simple. Pick one safe hallway. Take 10 intentional steps. Use the cue, lift, land, roll. Then notice how your body responds. If it feels helpful, practice it daily for the next week. If it feels unsafe, uncomfortable, painful, or confusing, stop and speak with a professional who can assess your walking in person. There is no shame in needing support. A physical therapist, doctor, or trained clinician can often spot things you may not notice yourself. Sometimes the right advice at the right time can prevent bigger problems later. And one more thing before we close. Do not compare your walk to someone else's. Your goal is not to walk like you did at 30. Your goal is to move with the best control, safety, and confidence your body can build now. That is a worthy goal. That is a strong goal. And it starts with one better step. If this video helped you, please hit the like button. It helps this message reach more adults over 50 who may need it. And I would love for you to comment below with your age and where you are watching from. Are you in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond? And have you noticed your feet dragging, your steps getting shorter, or your confidence changing when you walk? Your comment may help another senior realize they are not alone. Also, if you are new here, subscribe to Gold After 50 and turn on notifications. We create calm, practical health and wellness videos for adults over 50 who want to stay strong, independent, and informed without fear or confusion. And please remember, this video is for educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for personal medical advice. Before making changes to your exercise routine, walking pattern, medications, or health plan, talk with your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional, especially if you have a history of falls, dizziness, nerve problems, foot pain, recent surgery, or any medical condition that affects your balance. Your body is not failing you. It is asking for better signals. And every clear step you practice is one way of answering. Lift, land, roll, stay steady, stay aware, and keep protecting the independence you have worked your whole life